Live from New York, DYNAMAX Roberts, Biggs Radio in Chicago, Biggs. We are syndicated, two radio stations simultaneously playing back to back, operating out of the base, Indianapolis. Shout out to the boss lady, Dynamite Biggs herself, the owner of the Biggs radio station. We are growing new station last 2 years or so. And yeah, over 100,000 listeners, man, and worldwide, people listening all over the world tuning in. We're very proud of those stats. Shout out to my sponsor, Allstate. And we're getting it in today. We got an amazing show for you, ladies and gentlemen. Just want to let you know that we have one of my good friends, somebody I consider to be a brother, someone I consider to be my brother from over in the United Kingdom. He goes by the name of Don BEKEN. He's a legend, a man, a jack of all trades. He got so much incredibleness going on with him. I'm going to have him break it down and just take over the studio. All I can tell you now is it's going to be a high-frequency situation. So get your seatbelts, get your snacks ready, and let's make it happen. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Don BEKEN from Nick Mason, SAUCERFUL of Secrets in the House. What's up?
Hey, how you doing, man? So good to see you.
Good to see you too, brother.
Always.
Looking good, man.
Yeah, well, we're just hanging out in Los Angeles before San Diego show tomorrow, and then Los Angeles show on, where are we, Tuesday, I think. Wednesday, Los Angeles.
Awesome.
I don't know. What day? Yes.
You know what? You just go with it. At this point, you just go with it, man. So the weather's lovely.
Weather is absolutely stunning. Yeah.
Oh,
so
my
pleased.
goodness.
After kind of coming over from rainy England, this is perfect. So I've got a day to chill now.
I gotta say, thank you very much on my side, and also on behalf of my wife and everything. Carrie Dow, of course, there's a whole history of Carrie Dow Roberts. We'll get into a little bit of that as well, and thank you for having us out in the super amazing VIP situation out in Denver, Colorado. It was great to see you perform on stage. You put an extraordinary performance on, and oh my God, man, dude, you've grown over the years, dude. You've grown, man. You always have been a beast, but man, now you're just straight up a monster, man. It's a monster mash, official.
Yeah, I've just grown sideways.
Oh my goodness. Dom, take us back to the beginning, man. This is your story of your life, man. Tell us about how does it go? How does it go? How did it start for you in the United Kingdom coming up? You can start from childhood. You can start from middlehood. You know, who inspired you in the music? We can start from your inspiration. We can start, let's take it away, brother. You got the floor.
Oh my God, that's a really open
That's
question.
a lump. That's a lump. That's a big lump, man.
That's a big old lump. I've just always what I ever wanted to do. So, yeah, I mean, I really started out wanting to be a producer and an engineer. That was kind of my main thing. Then I don't like a humble brag, but I've never really kind of thought I should be out there front and center as an artist. And it just kind of fell into my lap, really. I started in the UK really doing a lot of engineering and programming, and then doing some drumming and keyboard playing for people on the side as well. And it kind of grew from there.
Oh, that's awesome.
And now, yeah, I mean, and all kinds of genres of music, but mostly for me, kind of electronic. Hip hop and jazz have always been a kind of first love, and anything electronic and progressive and interesting. And that's kind of wound its way down. I met Guy Pratt, who's our bass player in SAUCERFUL, when he was playing for Pink Floyd. We started working together back in the late 90s.
Okay.
And that developed on. We started writing together, and there's been a whole ton of stuff since then, from joining the Orb and doing work with Alex Patterson.
Can I chime in for a second?
Everything.
I'm sorry to interrupt your train of thought. Please don't forget where you're going next. When you mentioned Guy Pratt, Pink Floyd, did you also work with other members in Pink Floyd as well?
Yeah, well, Guy was married to Garla, Rick Wright's daughter, and when Rick was looking for someone to help him in his home studio and with his solo stuff, I did some work with Rick.
That's awesome.
As well before he passed, which was great. It was real honor to work with him.
You had to be a kid. You had to be a kid at that point, man. Right?
Yeah, I was pretty young.
You had to be pretty young.
Early 30s, I guess. Yeah.
Okay.
Youngish.
Yeah. That's amazing. It's an incredible story. Who can tell that kind of story, man? Only you. Only you can tell that kind of story, man. It's like, you got a chance to. Your playground was the Pink Floyd backyard, man.
I know It was lovely, and my only sadness really is that none of the stuff that we worked on ever got to see the light of day before he passed away. But who knows what will happen?
Well, I think opportunities are still on the way because you guys made the impossible already happen right now. What you're doing is the impossible. I don't know if you guys you're so busy making the dream a reality that I don't think y'all even have time to fathom. Like, okay, you do know this is like when they came back out with Star Wars 3, 4, 5, and 6 and explaining how Anakin Skywalker became Darth Vader. Like, this is a serious lucky time right now. We
Well,
didn't.
Lee Harris, our guitarist, just came up with such a good idea. The problem is that since Pink Floyd stopped performing as a band together, you've got Roger is out there doing stuff, David has been out there doing stuff, and quite frankly, the Pink Floyd tribute band thing has practically become an industry of its own. And since Pink Floyd absolutely exploded with Dark Side of the Moon, there is no shortage of people out there just playing those songs from Dark Side of the Moon through Wish You Were Here, all the way up to Division Bell, are getting played to death.
Awesome.
But nobody was touching that earlier work, which actually, in the 60s and early 70s was still really popular. But at that time, the band just didn't really have the technology to perform it, I think, the way they really wanted to.
They were ahead but they still were ahead of their time, though, right? They were still.
They were ahead of their time, but it was just impossible to get that. I don't think they got it across the way they wanted to, in my humble opinion. So the idea of revisiting it as a band, not as a tribute, but as a band, and playing it our way with Nick behind the drums, keeping that feel and keeping that groove that's so important to the sound of Pink Floyd, was a great one. Nobody else is doing those songs, and we get to do them our way. And people are really enjoying it, which is amazing. And
man, I got to hit you one more time with this. When Don Beacon is performing, ladies and gentlemen, I'm also looking into the mic as we're recording for, as we're doing live, for Biggs Radio YouTube. We're also recording for the radio audio. When you see Don Beacon performing, he's such a humble giant, dude. He's a humble person. Ever since I've been knowing this man, he's always been very humble. He didn't even want to have anything to do with being seriously like that, out there like that. Just for my own little small experiences of doing some records with him and then getting thrown into the video, thinking I'm going to be in the background. And I show up and they're like, DYNAMAX, the camera's on you. We're going to be hiding in the back doing what we do. So seeing you front center on the stage and not just out there on the stage, what you're actually doing while you're performing, like it's Rick Wright to the million power, bro, because you're like you got a whole entire rig up there. You got, I hear electric drum machines coming in, and it's like, wait a minute, you got Nick Mason. You actually got Nick Mason to rock with you with the drum machines and crazy, like these sounds. This is stuff that didn't even exist so many years ago. For the Rick Wright, shout out to him and respect to him and to his family, man, and thank him for all the class and the legends. But you definitely do his history. Come on, man, do justice, like justice to the million power, because what you bring to the table is like, wow, this dude is a beast. You are like Wu-Tang had, like I got Capadon on the show, and I always considered him a secret weapon in Wu-Tang. You are a secret weapon in the whole SAUCERFUL of Secrets experience. That's what I experienced when I was sitting in the crowd going like, wow. And and I apologize, but I had to film some little audio, man, and throw it on our little Years of the Canine thing. I had to. It's like it's the 2 minutes. I had to write. Okay, we don't own this music. It's promotion use. Don Beacon's doing his solo. He's setting it. It's not even the solo joint. It's like the intro to the song, and it was like head blowing, So I know I just took some time out of the interview just to give you your flowers right there, man. Your performance level and what you bring. I've seen you work in the studio, but what you're bringing on stage and to this history. Ain't nobody touching you, bruh.
Oh, thank you. Well, I mean, the thing is, Rick experimented a lot, and Roger as well, with synths, on this early material, and it was really those sounds that were the foundation or the building blocks for the album that became Dark Side. So to kind of take that and to think, well, what would they have done if they'd had access to what I've got access to on stage, and just to kind of take that and run with it is the main thing. And Rick was such an important part of the sound of Pink Floyd that you kind of have that carte blanche to be the kind of backing track that